As individuals, we all face challenges here and there. Life always happens, and sometimes it presents us with the ugly faces. But as human beings, we still need to push through and continue with what life has to offer. So I'm here to ask you, as an individual, what are the mechanisms you use? How do you handle your difficult times when you are facing such a challenge? On this note, you are once again welcome to the Lex Talk Show on DS Online TV GH. As always, we are always here to digest very important but fun topics for our own growth. So once again, you are welcome. And from my introductory message, I guess you can deduce the topic for discussion. We are here today to talk about how to handle difficult times. And as always, Reverend Dr. Isreal Abambillah is here to help us understand this better, give us some mechanisms to guide our lives with. Reverend, you are welcome.
Thank you, my dear.
I've realized one thing about you. You are not aging. But I know the kind of stress you go through. What's your secret?
I think it's just the matter of self-management.
Okay.
I keep saying that the body was given to us to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
So body care is our personal responsibilities. So you may be too busy and occupied, but you need to stay alive to do the things you are doing.
Yeah.
So you create time to take care of yourself and do proper self-management, and you'll be good to go. And that has to do with exercising, eating well, creating time to rest, reading books to keep your mind fresh, and then learning to manage unfavorable situations, which we are coming to discuss this moment.
Yeah.
With these few things, it will keep you younger.
Well, that's nice.
Yes.
I'll keep them in mind and use them for myself as well.
Thank you.
But back to today's topic for discussion. I know as individuals, we all may have had some difficult phases. And I believe you have had your own share of life in that aspect.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, can you share an experience with us and how you were able to navigate through that difficult time?
Wow. There are many of them. Maybe I can only figure out one to talk about.
Yeah,
but there are many. Yes, I remember when I went to the Bible school.
Okay.
They did not give me the correct information about how the Bible school functions.
Okay.
So they told me that the school is sponsored by white people.
Okay.
And that they were going to put me on salary and pay me some allowances every month. And the white people, with their donations and support, they are going to be giving us food for cooking, oil, rice, wheat, and the rest. But when I got there, that was not the case.
Situation.
So you don't have cooking utensils, you don't have money, you don't have sponsorship, you don't know anybody, you don't even speak the language.
Wow.
Yes, so I was left stranded. I remember the first 3 days, I slept empty stomach for good 3 days.
Hey.
Yes. And I also didn't want to go back because I've decided to come to the Bible school. So what I did was to figure out what I can do and make good friends quickly, try to make good friends. Because that time communication was so difficult.
Okay.
There was no mobile phone. So how to connect to your family and friends?
It was difficult.
It was so difficult. You remember in those days where we have to buy card and then slot it into toll booth and you call and they have to give you time to go and call the person. So by the time you even get the person you are asking for help, the credits might have all finished. So it was a very tough time, but with commitment and dedication to survive, I started thinking of what to do, making good friends, trying to ask questions, trying to understand the situation, and then also making up my mind to endure because it's not going to be easy. You have changed an environment. So you'll not be like staying with your parents.
Yeah.
So with that, I was able to come out of it. I made a lot of good friends.
Okay.
I discussed issues, and you might decide whom to discuss what with.
Yes.
And little help here and there till I gained ground, and I completed it after 3 years.
Wow, that was quite an experience.
Yes.
So generally, when you face difficult times, what's the very first thing you do?
The very first thing you do when you encounter challenges or when you go through tough and hard times is to pray.
Okay.
The first thing you need to do is to pray. And the reason being that human mind is limited. Okay. Human experience is limited. You may know what is happening now, but you don't know what is ahead. And sometimes you don't even have any solution about it at all. So, but by praying, God is able to come into the situation, and you'll be visited by the Spirit of God. Maybe directions to be given, and even if the direction is not immediate, there's some kind of comfort God will give you. You have some kind of inner comfort to be able to stand and face it. So the first thing to do when you face situations that you've never expected is to pray. Now, it is so challenging because this is our first time of coming to the world. We have not been here before. So anything that happens to us is new. That makes life very tough. Things that you've never experienced before, things you've never expected, are the things that you eventually experience. They are not things we bargain for. Sometimes all of a sudden somebody begin to experience health challenge. And the doctors will mention certain names of the disease that you will panic. It's not something that you are used to.
Heard of before.
Yes. So life is full of tough and difficult times. But the first thing to do, there is a man that controls the universe. There's a man that rules the world. You talk to him first. Any other way the help will come through, he's the one that will make it possible.
Okay. So how do you differentiate between a temporary challenge and a lifetime crisis?
Wow. Temporary challenge are things that happens to us which could be considered as normal. They are temporary things. Number one, maybe you have been sacked from a job.
Okay.
But you have certificate. It's a matter of time. You stay at home, you write applications, talk to friends and families. You will one day be fixed. Another challenge is relocation. Maybe if you have relocated from here to the north, you don't speak the northern language. You are not used to the environment. You don't know anybody. But with time, you make good friends and adjust. Another one is probably going to school. You know, in the house, you have a nice bed you sleep with. Your mother will wake you in the morning and give you breakfast. Life becomes a little bit easier for you. But when you get to school where you have to drink gari, and then one hostel, you manage it with 4 people, 6 people. You have to start learning how to use gas cooker and eat Indomie. You know, but with time, things will change. After 3-4 years, you come out of it. These are temporary challenge. But the major ones are things that are so hard to change. Some may change, but it will take a long time. Some of them, you have to live with them the rest of your life. And some of them, there's nothing you can do. And that is number one. Maybe you had an accident and part of your body have to be amputated. Maybe 2 legs or 2 hands. These are major life crises. And then somebody losing the life partner. Maybe you lost your wife or your husband. These are not things that can be replaced. Or maybe a fire outbreak and your entire shop or your entire house was burnt to ashes. And you know, we cannot just build a house a day. These are things that you go through. Or maybe you are at a conception, you conceived, or you are pregnant, and then you've lost the pregnancy. Unless another one, then what has happened is not going to come back. And some people out of that, they may even lose their womb. And the doctor will tell you that you cannot conceive anymore. These are things that you have to live the rest of your life with. But you must know that everything happened for a very good reason. Presently, you may not understand, but in the future, you get to understand better. So what we need to do, whether a temporary challenge or a major challenge, you learn to accept the new realities. Irrespective of what you do, there are certain things you can never change them. You have to accept them, adapt, adjust, manage the situation, and make it part of your new life and enjoy it. With time, you get used to it.
Okay, so talking about accepting and adapting and all of that, how important is the mindset when it comes to dealing with difficult situations or difficult times?
Yes. You see, not only the minds, but your willingness and readiness to work on your emotions.
Okay.
Emotional management play a major role in managing hard times. And moreover, just as you're talking about the mind, anything that happens to you is not the happening, but your ability to interpret and understand the situation is what will decide whether you will win or you will lose. So you must interpret the case or the issue correctly with a right mental setup, with the right mindset. Anything that happens and your mind is corrupted by the situation, you may even create further problems, addition to what has happened. I don't know whether you've heard severally of people committing suicide because their boyfriends have been disappointed them or the girlfriend disappointed them. They are not able to see the issue in the right mental perspective. They just feel that it's the end of life. And then some will go and commit suicide. But at the end of the day, that is not the solution to the problem. And if you have said that life, maybe the one who disappointed you, you are likely to even marry somebody who could be more responsible than the one who disappointed you. So right mental attitude when you go through challenges are very important. Interpret the situation correctly, judge the situation correctly, put up a strong and a positive mental attitude towards the issue, and then you will gain inner strength and tenacity to fight whatever that has happened.
All right. I was about asking you what are some of the practical ways to stay mentally strong when you are facing life's challenges, but you just mentioned them. So we will want to talk about stress management and then that of anxiety.
Okay.
Still in connection with the mental stability. So how do you manage stress and anxiety when facing difficult times?
Wow. I've come to realize that stress is one of the major causes of many people's challenges in life, where even their health is affected. When you have stress, one of the things you need to do is to be in charge of your personal emotions. Once you don't manage your emotions, you do a lot of harm to your own self. You will not be able to tackle the issue in the right way. The problems will be compounded, and at the end of the day, you will lose more. So one of the ways to manage stress is to ensure that you stay calm, even in the midst of hard and difficult times. Calm yourself down. It is not the end of the world. Anything that occurs in your life, it will go with time. Nothing is permanent. So calm yourself down. Number two, you must know that whatever that has happened, you are not the first person to go through it. Many has gone through it. There is nothing new under the sun, according to King Solomon. Anything that happens to us, many people experience it over and over. You are only having your share of it. So you must know that you are not the first person to go through it. Whether losing your child, losing your job, whether sickness, betrayals, whatever it is. We live life in circles. Things that happen somewhere repeat itself at another place. Things that we see people go through, one day we go through them, even if not directly, in a very closer way. Yes, so you calm yourself down to understand that I am not the first person to go through this. The second thing you must do is to find time to rest and sleep. Good sleep is an antidote to stress management.
Okay.
So you realize sometimes even if you don't sleep for a period of time, you become so restless and stressful. Mm. So you must learn to create time in the midst of all that to sleep. Now, even if you cannot sleep, rest. There's a difference between rest and sleep. Yeah. You can just lie at one place and then take your time and then rest. Another thing you can also do in managing stress is to pray. Prayer is a stress reliever. It's a painkiller. Okay. There's a God who rules the world. There is somebody who is stronger than us. There is somebody who knows what we don't know. So once we pray to him and believe in his word, it has a way of helping us gain emotional strength to fight whatever that confronts us. Another thing you can do is to also probably get a book that addresses your case and read them. You will see the book talking to you, giving you step-by-step directions on how to come out of it. Okay. That is one of the ways to manage stress. Another one is to talk to people who are so optimistic and positive-minded people that can encourage you, that can take the stress out of your life. People that will bear with you, understand the situation, and they are willing to step in for you. And lastly, probably because of time, you look for a counselor. There are some situations you can never manage them by yourself. It doesn't matter how much you try. Yes, you need somebody with rich experience.
More or less like seeking professional help.
Counseling.
Therapy and all of that.
Good. Okay. Good. Somebody you know that in that area, the person can help. Even if you are a counselor, it is not all areas that you are professional. Yeah. But when you go through certain things, you can figure out a counselor who is professional in that area, and they can use their professionalism to help you overcome it. Don't die in silence.
Over
don't
here,
be a master of all.
Patronize therapy. We see it as if you are going through therapy, it means mentally you are going off board. That is how we perceive it, and we don't see the importance of that. So a lot of people don't patronize counselors, therapies, and all of that.
I think we have to encourage it. Okay. It is not out of hand when you go through one challenge or the other and you look for somebody who is professional in that area to help you. We are not saying that you have a mental issue or you have sanity problem, but stress can lead to all those things. Stress can lead to mental sanity. Yeah. Yes, stress can lead to so many things. So the remedy is to look for a counselor who is good. Maybe you are going through some financial crisis. There are people who were once in your shoes and they're able to overcome it. Talking with them, they can guide you, or maybe relationship disappointment. There are people that can help you. You see, one of the things that destroys the youth is trying to be a strong person when you know that the situation is weighing you down.
Especially the men.
Yes. It's one of our problems. And that's why you see that most men die younger than women. And we have more widows than widowers. Because we always want to act strong. And we are not strong.
Yeah, they said men
women are stronger than men. Physically, men are strong. But emotionally, women are stronger than men. Okay. Let me give one example. A woman can be cooking, washing, and taking care of the baby.
Multitasking.
Yes. They're emotionally strong and they can go through all this. She'll go to farm, come back, go to the riverside to fetch water, and then cook at the same time. But let your wife travel for 3 days with 2 children in the house. It's like hell. Yes. So men have problems. And even this BP issue, most men go through it than women. Okay. Because we try to keep things to ourselves. Yeah. We try to act strong even when the issue is eating you up. And at the end of the day, you'll be a victim. So we should speak out. Okay. When you have a problem, look for somebody, share it with them, let them give you their little experiences, and that could get you out of the problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it is important to get a support system, either professionally or unprofessionally. Okay. So how can someone turn difficult situations into a learning experience?
Number one, you have to know that you are not in control of everything.
Okay.
And whatever that happens to you is for a good reason. Many things happen to us to teach us lessons because there is more ahead. If you are going to live up to 100 years, live up to 80 years, and maybe you are going through some crisis at the age of 27, there are many things ahead. And life keeps repeating itself.
Yeah.
So anything that happens to you, see it as a moment to learn.
Okay.
So you pick up the lessons and leave the pain.
Okay.
Once you concentrate on the pain, it will never go. But once you realize that, let me pick up the lessons from what I'm going through, then it gives you dominant over the situation.
Okay.
So everything comes to teach us. And your ability to learn makes you better. How successful you will be in life is determined by your readiness to learn from things that happens to us in daily basis. Greatness don't happen overnight. It only happens to people who are willing to learn. Okay. So everything comes to teach us a lesson. So you leave the pain and pick the lessons. And once you pick the lessons, then you have gained experience. So that next time when a similar thing happens, you use the previous formula to address it. And then you keep going. That's how it works.
Okay. All right. So how do setbacks shape a person's character and then future success?
Wow. Just like we are saying, once you are able to learn from it, you realize that you have another key that can help you in the future. There are sometimes we rush too much and we want to run too much ahead of time. But when we hit the wall and bounce back, we are able to figure out things that didn't work well. Our mistakes, our errors, our inadequacies. And with that, it makes your life better. Sometimes failure can teach you what success cannot.
Okay.
And certain failures are good for us because it will mold you, it will shape you, and prepare you for another step. And with that step, you are not taking it with caution because the previous one you have learned out of it. Let me use myself for example. Some years back, I invested some money into a business, and that was my all in all. I put everything in it because I was so sure that this one is going to blow. And nothing came out of it. I was broke for a very long time. So it now tells me that if you want to do business investment, you have to do a lot of research, ask a lot of questions, understand the terms and conditions of the business, find out those who fail in that area for guidelines, find out those who succeeded in that area for encouragement. You need to gather a whole lot so that you cannot take a step. But if I've not gone through all that, I will not understand how business work.
Yeah.
And so sometimes failure is good because the lessons it teaches us is more than what success teaches us. So when you fail in an area of your life and it brings setback, you are able to think a lot, figure out what you couldn't do right, able to steady yourself and understand, find out how to start a new life afterwards, and what happened before that brought the setback becomes a guide to where you are now going.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So kindly give us some of the daily habits, the very, very small ones, very little but effective daily habits that we can adapt to keep ourselves motivated even in our trying times.
Wow. I've written something here. I have a book here. You can also, you can change your situation.
Okay.
And we'll look at chapter 1. We try to help us on how to cope with challenging times. And number 1, I said, listen to people with one ear for information and experience, but listen to God with 2 ears for direction and comfort.
Okay.
When you go through hard times, what you need to do is that listen to people with one ear. Because sometimes, even though it is good to listen to people, it's not all the advices that you can take. And certain counsel can even land you on more troubles. So you must hear God in that situation than just listening to men. Many a times we are misguided by the information we gather from people. But once you listen to God and He speaks to your soul, speaks to your spirit, and guide you, you are able to come out of it.
Okay.
And number 2, you don't forget the God factor in your situation.
Okay.
If you go through problems, you must know that God has a reason for that pain. In everything, even if it is from the devil, God allows it. Just like the issue of Job in Job chapter 1, verse 6 going, you see that there was a meeting in heaven, and all that happened, Job was not aware, but God and Satan was aware, and God permitted Satan to tempt Job. But at the end of the day, the Bible said that the life of Job, the latter days, was greater than the former. That tells us that in every pain, it's not all of them that we took wrong decisions.
Okay.
It's not all of them that we are at fault. There are many of them God allowed them to happen. So understand God factor in every hard times.
Okay.
You can look at the story of Joseph. Things he went through.
Yeah.
But it was for his good. It was for his promotion. So in every situation of your life, understand the God factor of it. Number 3, you talk little and pray more. Sometimes when you talk too much, when you are in difficult times, you express fear. You even, increase your frustrations.
Okay.
It even gives people the right to say certain things that will even frustrate you the more. So you talk little and then you pray more.
Okay.
The number 4, don't lose guard. Be in charge and decide how you want to behave in that situation. Don't just go through something and start shouting and start screaming and talking to everybody. No, you sit down and decide how you want to behave in that situation. With that, you're able to comport yourself, and then victory will come afterwards. Lastly, because of time, you don't keep crying and forget about your responsibilities.
Okay.
In every problem that happens, you have a responsibility. You capitalize on what you can handle. What has happened, you could not control it. But after that, there are many things around you that you can control. You can't control everything, but there are some things that you can be in charge of. Capitalize on the things that you can do at that moment and leave the things you cannot do. The little that you do can go a long way to affect you positively. And at the end of the day, you realize that you can go through it and succeed.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Please, let's get back to the book a little.
Okay.
Was this authored by you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, if we need a copy or anything like that, where do we get it?
It is in all the bookshop, Goshen Star Bookshop and Daffel Bookshop. They sell all my books.
Okay. Do you have e-copies? I always ask for e-copies.
This one, I don't have e-copies yet. I don't have e-copies yet for this one.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Kindly show it to the camera.
Okay.
That's a very nice cover page over there.
Thank you.
Your younger self or
You
your...
see you. This is about 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
That's nice.
Yes.
All right, Reverend. So before you go, if you could go back in time and advise your younger self on how to handle difficult times, what would you tell your younger self? Please look into your camera.
Okay. The best advice I could have given to myself is to know that problems in life is real. You can never avoid it. Everybody in this life will have a share of life challenges and problems, irrespective of where you are born and where you are. It is normal for everybody to go through life challenges. Now, if you understand this, anything that happens, you're able to face it. But I didn't know all this.
Yeah.
Anything that happens, I just feel that the world has ended. Everything has crumbled and there's no hope anymore and there's no future anymore. But as I grow, I get to know that, okay, anything that happens, well, it is something that is bound to happen. It's part of life. With this, you are able to go through them with joy, knowing very well that it happens. Number 2, I would have advised myself to know that no situation is permanent.
Okay.
Every problem is a passing by. It doesn't matter what, it will get better. I don't know whether you can remember just some few months ago when we were running elections. There were tensions everywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody was prepared to lose. Both the political leaders and the followers and everybody, there was talk over in everywhere. But over time, even the one who couldn't win have accepted the situation and life is going normal. The next 4 years, a person can come back. That's how life is. Anything that happens doesn't end life. Life continues. So you take it easy and you say to yourself, this is not going to be permanent. It's going to change one day. I keep saying that some years back, my major prayer was to eat and be satisfied. I never believed in my life that I could eat and be satisfied. So it was my prayer every day. But over time, things have changed. I don't think I'll pray for food. There's something else I'll pray for. So sometimes when we go through certain problems, we just feel that, oh, it's the end of everything. Yes, and we are willing to lose everything because of one challenge or the other. Just understand that nothing is permanent. Things will definitely change. The last thing I will say to myself is that I should not be too hard on myself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Yes, you don't have to learn to pamper yourself. Learn to accept situations. Learn to use people's challenges to encourage yourself to know that, okay, I am not alone in this. Be flexible to yourself. Sometimes you make mistakes, but out of that, you will grow. Out of that, you will learn. Out of that, you gather experience. So sometimes certain failures and certain disappointments are blessings in disguise. So I will tell myself to take it easy. And then, the last one, prayer. Being the pastor, that's what I would say. God has a way of guiding us out of troubles. Sometimes you look at the left and right and there is no way out. But as you pray, he has a way of bringing helpers. He has a way of showing you little ways of exit. And by the time you realize, you are able to overcome and emerge a winner.
All right. I know I said your final word, but then this one is very dear to me. Kindly talk to our men who always wants to be strong. Like, men don't cry. And inwardly, they are dying. Please, share a word of advice with them.
Every man is not a superman. Every man is a human being. And we need to accept realities and face challenges the way they are. What makes a woman cry can equally make a man to cry. There is blood flowing in your veins. So when you are going through difficult times, admit and seek for help. If you have to talk to your wife, do so. If you have to talk to a friend, do so. If you have to look for a professional counselor to discuss, do so. You see, once you refuse to accept the situation and accept your own limitations, you will like to do everything to go all out for it. And at the end of the day, it will cut your life short. Don't act strong when you know you are not strong. Know your limit. Accept the situations. Look for help if there needs be. And then God will give you victory. I see some men who even knows that their wives can help them, even financially, but they feel so strong to ask their wives for help. You know, the reason being that men were created with little ego in them. Yes, so sometimes we overreact, we over-exercise ego, then we suffer it. I saw one man trying to carry, I think, bags of cement. They put one, he said, oh, they should add more. They put another one. He said, oh, he can't, they should add another one. Then they add, he said, oh, go, this one. Then people were cheering him up. Then they add the sixth one. I'm telling you, the rest is the story.
The rest
you
was
can
history.
conclude how the story will end. Don't act strong when you know you are not. But I can tell you, no man is a superman. We are all human beings with weaknesses and with inabilities. Accept them, talk about them, look for help, and then you'll be helped. Don't die and leave your children young. Don't die and leave your wife a widow. Find a solution to every crisis that you go through. If you have to cry, feel free to cry. There's no law that says that a man should not cry. God created every man with tears, so we can equally cry. If you have to cry, cry. And that could bring a relief, your emotional stability.
All right, Reverend, thank you so very much. This one has been brief, but it's packed. I hope our viewers have picked what they have to pick for themselves. And you, as a viewer watching us, I hope, aside the coping mechanisms you have picked what Reverend has said too. But the most important thing that I have picked is to have that positive mentality. When you do that, in every difficult situation, you will be able to handle it with that kind of ease. But also, that would only happen when you pray about it, because prayer does everything. Miracles do happen. Prayer still works. So as an individual out there facing challenges, do not forget to pray about them. Also believing and trusting that God can turn the situation around. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. It's been the Let's Talk show on DS Online TV GH, and I have been your host, Pepi Sonia. Until we come your way once again, keep taking good care of yourself. It's a bye for now.